Okay, we are back for a life after lockup. I am attempting to record this for the fourth time. We start off with Stan and Lisa. We jump right back into where we left off with them. So I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but I could have gone the rest of my life without seeing Stan's old wrinkly butt with that tattoo up there of Lisa's name. I already know why he wanted her name tattooed on his butt, because he likes her playing in and around his butt area. So, I mean, I don't know if they said Lisa got a tattoo of Stan's name, but I know he definitely got one of hers. So, with Stan and Lisa, Lisa wants to go shopping with one of her friends and she's asking for money. Stan gives her $20 and she's like, this isn't enough. So he's like, do you want $50? And she's like, no, I want your credit card. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, Stan, please don't get this girl your credit card, because she don't know nothing about spending no money. And she was like, I thought you said you made $100,000 last year. And Stan was like, actually, it was $133,000. And she was like, well, you acting like you don't have any money. And he was like, at the rate that you're spending money, I'm not going to have any money. You don't spend it just as fast as you make it. Because I'm sure that's how he's accumulated his wealth all these years. So Lisa's starting to look a little better with being, I guess, in the being taken care of by Stan, as far as like maybe she's eating better, maybe she has a different routine, maybe it's her being out of jail for a while, her skin's looking better or whatever, but her, she looks like she has improved a little bit since she's been there with Stan. So she ends up meeting with some lady that she used to be in jail with named Natasha, and she's telling her like, I'm staying with Stan and all this other stuff. And Natasha's like, so what about the other women that you were talking to? And Lisa's talking to somebody else named, I can't remember the lady's name. It's not even on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. But Lisa's talking to her and she's like, oh, I can't wait to see your boob job and all this other stuff. And the girl, they're supposed to have some sort of night or something together that Lisa has planned with this other lady. And Stan ends up meeting with his friends. Now they are at the gym and they're walking on treadmills and they're just kind of asking him like, what's going on? Like, how's Lisa? Is everything okay? And Stan's like, I get the feeling that she wants me to be her sugar daddy, but how can I be her sugar daddy and she's not giving me no sugar? And they're like, so you mean to tell me like there's like your sex life is not going how you wanted it to go with her? And Stan was like, no, like she acts like she barely wants to even like do things with me and have private intimate time and things like that. And all she does is just kind of lay around. She sleeps, she eats, and she's texting and talking on her phone. And Stan's like, shoot, the girl touches her phone more than she touches me, and she's always on the phone. I don't know who she's talking to, who she's texting, or whatever. And he's pretty much growing suspicious because Lisa wants to be there and wants to benefit from what Stan has to offer, but she's kind of doing the bare minimum in his mind of what she needs to be doing to hold his attention and everything. So they're just standing there talking, and I don't know if it's I don't know if it's because Stan is old, but Stan actually has some pretty big legs now. It's so funny because Stan is old and he he has that creepy laugh and that toupee, and it's just weird. But Stan actually has, to me, he has nice legs. His legs are a nice size. They're big, and that's just one of my preferences. I like big legs. I think they look really nice on men, like compared to the like smaller chicken legs or whatever. So when they were doing that scene when he was talking to his friends, I was just staring at his legs like, wow, Stan actually has some nice legs. Oh my gosh. I'm so weirded out by myself right now. So, they kind of end the scene with Stan and Lisa. We also see that Deontay and Nicolle is going to be on this season, and I'm so disappointed that they did not show them on this first episode. They actually showed a lot of Brittany and Marcelino and Lacey's story because I feel like they're more so trying to catch us up with them and see how things have been going with them since we've seen them 2 seasons ago. So, I usually don't care for Lacey's part that she had in the. I didn't care for the part that Lacey and Shane and, Lacey, Shane, and John's storyline from the previous season. But this season actually does have my interest when it comes to Lacey because it kind of digs in more with her background story about how she had her first child when she was 17 and she had these plans of being this awesome, wonderful mother. And it ended up being way harder than she expected, which I completely understand because she just may have had I guess the thoughts and like a lot of women do as far as underestimating how much work is going to be to actually raise another person, and none of her kids are teenagers, so she's not that much older. Like I feel like Lacey's maybe if she's in her 30s, then maybe her oldest son is a teenager and we just don't see him. But her kids all seem to be kind of small, like 9 or 10 or something like that at the oldest. So she's explaining how her and Shane, they have had their daughter. Um, she had complications during the pregnancy where she had like an air bubble travel from somewhere up and toward, like towards her brain. And she kind of just really had like a complicated pregnancy with her daughter. And she ended up having her daughter. They showed the baby. That baby looks just like Shane, okay? That is Shane's baby. She looks like a girl version of him. She was so adorable. But she is a spitting image of Shane, which is just so crazy. Just like a smaller, cuter version of Shane. So she's explaining how ever since she had the baby, Shane had to stop working because Lacey was having complications, and he quit his job so that he can be there to help take care of her and the baby and things like that. But in the scene that we saw, Lacey's like, he kind of kisses the baby. Lacey's holding the baby and he smells her after he kisses her. And he's like, oh, like, what's that smell? And Lacey's like, she needs her diaper changed. You want to change it? And he was like, nope, bye. I'm going to the gym. I was like, dang. And then, first of all, he skipped out on changing her diaper and then gonna go and get in the car and talk about how hard it is to be a dad. Like, man, it seems like you're getting the easy, you're not getting the short end of the stick because you can just smell that the baby, your daughter has pooped in her diaper and you can just choose to just walk out of the door and go to the gym. But then you want to get in the car and talk about how hard it is to be a dad. Put in a little bit of effort. He could have stayed there and changed that diaper because when he did that, Lacey kind of muttered a insult to Shane under her breath and called him an a-hole. She didn't do it out loud, but she was just like, ugh, a-hole. Because she knew that she was going to be like, I'm not even saying like stuck there changing the diaper, but I mean, shoot, both of them made the baby. Why can't he could have took 5 minutes out of his gym time to change her diaper on the way out of the door. Like, goodness gracious, the lady just carried a daggone baby. The least you can do is change her diaper. You didn't have to carry the baby for 9 months nor push her out. Like, help Lacey out. Like, as much as Lacey gets on my nerves, that I was even irritated because I was like, come on now. So while Shane's at the gym, she takes her kids to like a little kid gym / play area, and her dad meets her there, and he can tell that she's stressed out, and she's like, yeah, I am stressed out. She's like, ever since I had the baby, Shane is just not, he was talking all this like trash about how he was going to be the best dad ever and he's going to be so helpful, and now that she's born, like he barely even wants to change a diaper. I feel like I'm doing this by myself, and we're in the household together. So her dad's like, that's messed up. What is he doing? And Lacey's like, he's just spending most of his time at the gym. And her dad's like, so is do you think it's someone else? And Lacey was like, I really didn't even want to go there within my thought process because I'm not usually an insecure person, because I can just fix whatever I feel like is wrong. If I think it's my boobs, I'll get plastic surgery. If I think it's my butt, I'll go and get surgery. If I like whatever I can fix to make our relationship work, that's what I will do. But in this scenario, like I don't, she's like, I'm just not usually insecure. I'm used to men like kind of being after me, so that never crossed my mind, and I don't want to get into that space, that headspace, which I understand because that is a stressful headspace to be in if you're in a relationship with somebody, if you have to start kind of worrying about and stressing out about what they're doing. And I feel Lacey, like in my 20s, yeah, I was like, I can relate. I was super insecure when I was in my 20s, and I feel like I didn't really know or understand the amounts of, I guess I didn't understand at that time what I had to offer to a relationship and bring to the table, and I wasn't really secure and things like that. But being a little older, um, I feel the same as Lacey. Like I'm generally not in a space where I feel insecure. I'm not going to be like going through phones. I'm not going to chase after anybody. Like I'm at the point in my life where I feel like I'm past that. And I feel like Lacey is in a much harder position than I am because her and Shane do have a child together, even though, they're married. They have an extra element added into their relationship. So I understood her on that. Like, who wants to spend time being insecure within their relationship? That takes a toll on a person, and it kind of damages the relationship when one party or the other just starts losing trust and having to do this and that. So Shane pops up at the house after they get back home, and he he has gone and gotten braces without talking to Lacey, and she's like, "Man, okay, you want to self improve? That's great and everything, but we're married. Why would you go and make a $4,000 or $5,000 purchase without talking to me about it first?" And he's like, "Well, she was always complimenting me on my style, not my style, my smile. So I wanted to, make sure my smile. I keep saying style. I want to make sure my smile always looks good for her, yada yada." And she was like, "Yeah, but we're married. So if you're going to go out and make a purchase that's thousands of dollars, you need to talk to me about that and not just go out and do what you feel is best for yourself." So, that was the end of the scene for Shane and Lacey. I'm actually more interested in their storyline this particular season. I don't know if it's because we've already been introduced to them in previous season, in a previous season, but I kind of want to see what's going to happen with them because I also want to know like what's going on with Shane. Like, is it really the weight of all the new responsibility that he has, and he's so young. He's still in his early 20s. I don't even think Shane is 25. And Lacey, I believe she's in her 30s. So, I mean, what is it? Shane, what you got going on? So we are going to get to Brittany and Marcelino. Also, a story that I started to not care about the last time they were on the show because she was just kind of chasing her mom around Las Vegas and trying to help her out with her sobriety and trying to make sure that, her mom kind of got on the right track, stopped abusing the painkillers and things like that, kind of trying to rehabilitate her mom before her mom was ready to be rehabilitated, which you can't force someone to live a sober life if they are not ready. You have to just wait. And in the meantime, just do what you can handle, and without having to, kind of neglect your family, which is your husband and your kids. So Brittany has partnered up with about 4 or 5 other people to create a sober house. And she wants to help other people that are addicted to drugs. I don't know if they're including people that have alcohol issues, but I'm assuming people who are addicted, who have drug issues or issues with drugs, and they're getting released and they have felonies, and they're the type of people in society that other people in society would kind of look down upon, not give them a chance and things like that. So she's collaborating with this group to form a sober house, and in this first episode, excuse me, we find out that um the money that they have all put together into that account is missing, gone, or something like that. And Brittany is trying to kind of figure out with the other lady exactly what they can do to fix the issue or try to figure out what's going on. Because one of the guys that's in the group, Brittany does not know him personally. He is a friend of someone that she knows. And I'm not saying that she's blaming him or looking at him. I'm just, kind of putting it out there to say that everybody that she's collaborating with, she doesn't know on a personal level. So she's kind of putting all her money into one basket with some people that she know and some people that she does not know. So with that, you just don't know what you're going to get out of people. So I hope for her sake that the sober house does end up being able to be open. And, through all of this, her and Marcelino are still together. They have had their 2 children together. Her son is living there. So they have their 3 kids. They have the house, the dog. Like, she's actually really doing well for herself after she did that 7 years in jail. And, she got custody of her son, Giovanni. And he's getting older. And, they pretty much seem like they have a really good flow going on over there, and they're, kind of just figuring things out as they go. So on this season, we also have Brittany and Ray. They are back. I did not know that they were going to be on Life After Lockup, but I'm kind of glad they are, because we really didn't get to see or hear from Ray that much on the last season, because towards the last couple of episodes that they showed, he was just now getting released from prison and just starting to live with Brittany. So it'll actually be refreshing to see their story and kind of get more, kind of get further into their relationship and see kind of where it's headed and what's going to be going on. But I tell you what, this episode, Brittany got a reality check, and she finally got to see the downside of trying to rush somebody into marriage, or trying to rush into marriage with someone that you just don't know that well. So her and Ray are in the furniture store, and they are looking for a new bed because they broke her old one. And they're kind of just walking around the store, and they kind of just find this one bed that has a really nice velvet, like, the shape of the headboard was kind of like how the bubble coats are, where they have like the different rows and that goes straight across, and it looks like a black velvet, and it was nice. I liked it. If that's the one that they're going to choose. I like really nice. I like nice big beds with nice headboards, and just not the typical wooden headboard. Like some beds that have the wooden headboard that have the like really intricate details and things like that. Like I really like those too. But I do like the fabric headboards, the leather, or anything that's like tufted, or anything that has like different fibers and textures. Different textures and stuff like that. Like I really like to have different textures when it comes to like my furniture and stuff like that, because I just think it adds so much dimension to the room. So the bed that they were sitting on, I did like that one, but that's besides the point. Brittany gets back into, saying like, I don't want to be a girlfriend for 2 or 3 years. Like, I really want to like really speed up this marriage process. I really want us to get married. And it really sucks that she's just trying to rush that, because it's like, you're not even trying to give your relationship time for y'all to really even like get to know each other and understand what you're signing up for. She's saying that she doesn't want to have kids first because she doesn't want to end up being somebody's just baby mom floating around out here. When she has kids, she wants to have kids with her husband, and she wants to do things a certain way. But she's talking about this wedding that she wants to have, and Ray brings up a point, and he's like, well, weddings cost money. And she makes a comment and say, well, that's mean. I'm like, how is it mean to remind you that the wedding that you expect is not going to be free? And I don't want to be a groom in that wedding and not being able to contribute to the wedding that me and my wife are having. Like, girl, what are you talking about? So they get into because Ray's like, look, I have, because she's like, when you get your job, like, what else are you going to spend your money on besides our wedding and a ring? So you want him to work only so he can pay for y'all to get married and get you a ring? You don't expect him to pay any bills in the house, because if you're paying all the bills in the house, the power dynamic in the house is going to be off, and he's not going to feel like he has any equal say so in that partnership and in that household like you do. If he's not paying bills in that household, girl, what are you talking about? Are you kidding me? You want him to get a job, but you don't want him to pay any bills. Why is that? Because is it a control thing? Do you not want him to have any say so? You don't want him to feel comfortable? You don't want him to feel like a provider? That's crazy. That's the kind of husband you want, one that doesn't want to be a provider, because it seems like he wants to provide and you don't seem interested in that. You just seem interested in him funding this wedding. But I tell you what, she took a step back when Ray said, look, I'm going to have bills when I start working. There's going to be bills in the house. There's going to be things that you need and things that I need. What you think? Like, I'm not going to pay a water bill, a light bill? Like, if I start working, I'm gonna be paying bills, and then on top of that, I owe restitution. I owe $123,000 in restitution. And Brittany was like, "What? $123,000?" He was like, "Yes, 100. I owe 120. I owe them money from all them pills and stuff that we was stealing and selling and stuff. Like, I have to pay that money back, and I have to pay money back for some of the other crimes that I committed. I did my crime. I mean, I did my time, but I ain't pay my due. I ain't pay, what I owe the prison system yet." And she was like, so when we get married, do I incur that debt? Yes, girl. Yes, you would be responsible for helping him pay that debt back if y'all are married. Are you kidding me? His debt becomes your debt, and your debt becomes his debt. Are you like, what are you talking about? I don't 100% know if she would be. I know she wouldn't be, maybe 100% responsible for paying that back. But once you get married and your finances get combined, that's something that's completely different. And I don't think that that's something that she expected, and I don't think that's something that she thought through when she's kind of just trying to rush this process. Because for her to even ask that question without no, first of all, for the fact that she does not know that, and they live together, and this is the first time this is getting brought up, that should let her know, like, you haven't gotten to know him as well as you should yet. Not to be asking him to marry you. You moving too fast. You need to slow down. Work on building your relationship and learning each other. Learning how to be, learning how to trust him, because she already was saying that she was gonna have issues trusting him, wanting to go through his phone and all this other stuff. Like, girl, get it together. This is what your sister was talking about. This is what your dad was talking about. And your sister was telling you moving too fast. Because you're not getting all the facts and all the information. It's just going too fast. Anyway, the last couple that they showed on this episode was, oh, what is his name? Destiny, the guy with the 6 kids that was dating Destiny, but then he was talking to another girl on the phone at the same time that was in the prison system. The one that invited his baby mom to dinner, the one with the red hair, the one where he told her and his daughter last season that he wasn't going to put them through anything like this again. He invites her out to dinner to let her know that he quit his job and that he's moving to Ohio to be with the other girl that he done met in prison, to be with her. Some girl named Sarah, I think. Mind you, his kid's mom met him at a restaurant and she was like, "Oh, he ain't never invite me to anything fancy like this." I was like, I mean, I guess they got wine glasses on the table, but I mean, I don't know. I gotta go back. I ain't judging. I gotta go back and watch that episode because I'm like, okay, I saw the wine glasses on the table and everything, but I mean, was that considered a fancy restaurant? And if he quit, I mean, I guess if he quit his job, he must have some money saved up. But I mean, girl. And then I feel like it's so trifling because they keep talking about how they got all these kids together and they just got her name up there. They have her name up there and it just says his ex-girlfriend. Girl, you had baby number one, two, three, four, five, and six by him, and you getting mad because he was getting more serious with Destiny than he got with you, and all those years and all those kids. Oh my gosh, man! Like I just feel like they trifling for even putting that up there. They could have just put his kid's mom or they could have even put his baby mom. I feel like that's better than saying his ex girlfriend. Knowing like I ain't judging though. I'm not judging. I ain't here to judge because I tell you what, maybe I'm just saying I don't know. That's crazy. I mean, goodness gracious, maybe she was waiting around, or we don't know what went on in their relationship, so I can't say nothing. But at the same time, like he invited her there to, um, he invited her there to tell her that he was talking to another woman in prison, and she got so mad. And she just threw the drink in his face. Like, she was just like, "Are you serious? You gonna take us through this again? You lied to me and your daughter?" And he was like, I feel scared to tell her this because she's already threatened to not let me see my kids if I keep messing up. And I mean, he's still messing up. He like what, in his 40s? He gotta be because their oldest daughter, like she like 16 to 17 years old. So he gotta be in his 40s for her to be 16 to 17. Or shoot, unless he in his 50s. But I doubt he in his 50s and look young like that. So he must be in his late 30s or 40s or because he said he lied to the girl and told her he was on what, 36? I guess. I guess if she believed that mess. And then on top of that, he was saying that he don't even remember how many kids that he told her that he had. Okay. But anyway, I feel like that was the last couple that they showed. I think his name is Sean. I was like kind of fishing through my brain the whole time this episode was on. I think his name is Sean. Sean and Destiny. Cause when I seen Destiny again, I said she better not be up here, cause girl. And in that last part, like I mean, I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to his storyline with this new girl, Sarah, because I mean, I don't know. Like he just came off so weak-minded when it came to Destiny, but then at the same time, I was like, I mean, I don't know. He was talking to somebody on the side because maybe he's seen that things was not working out between him and Destiny, and he also said that she's called him several times asking him for stuff from while because she got locked back up. Destiny went right back to jail from when she had went out of town, took that ankle monitor off, and she went back to do her last year and a half. So he said that she had been calling him and asking him for stuff here and there, but he was just like, he was looking at her like, girl, no. He said, I don't think she realizes that it's over. We're not together no more. And girl, like Destiny, when you was out, you was playing that man to the left. You skipped town. You took his car. You took his credit card. You came out there trying to fight him when he came and found your car at his sister's house while you was in there ignoring his phone calls. And then you had the nerve to come out there and act a fool while he was having a car towed because it ain't your car and it's not in your name. You cannot keep somebody's car if it's not in your name. I don't know what she thought this was. Now I was surprised that he did that because I didn't even think that he was going to do all that because I would have been like, oh, you don't want to be with me, cancel that credit card. As a matter of fact, he better be glad that she won't be in real petty and just reported that credit card stolen and the car because she's talking about something that's my car. No, ma'am. If the title not in your name, it's not yours. Just because you driving, don't make it yours. She found that out real quick when he got that car towed last season. So, they was being real trifling by not showing us Daonte this episode. Because that's one of the main reasons that I'm watching Life After Lockup because they know I wanted to see Daonte and what is going on with him and Nikki because I feel like they're going to continue on. They might have Tia in this season. They might have Tia in here. I don't know. But we will see. I mean, I think Nicolle definitely is going to be back in this season. And I feel like they have not showed them. So I can give my little thoughts on what I think is going to be going on with her and Daonte this season. Just, even though they didn't show them. I think this season, Deontay's going to move on with his newfound 15 minutes of fame that he got from being on Love After Lockup. And that he's going to have some other women that he's talking to. Because now, everybody that's watched the show and saw her play him and all this other stuff, like, girl, just because you don't want Daonte, it's plenty of women out here that was watching Love After Lockup and looking at him,